Guys, welcome to the Deep Junk Garage small scale build for the month of February 2022. We've got our 71 Firebird Trans Am laid out here on the table. We've got our instructions out like a good modeler should do. Got some parts laying all over the red truck and the van down there. The Road Runner is looking sad, like when the hell is he getting his turn? And I figured what we'd do on this is I tend to hold the phone. I use the phone for filming. I tend to hold it a lot and just do updates. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're just going to go step by step through this because there's not a lot of steps. There's only 28 days. We should be able to show you per the instructions, how it comes together. So first off would be the engine, and we'll get the chassis ready so we have somewhere to put the engine. And then step 3 would be getting the exhaust in there. So we look ahead a couple steps for painting, detailing, and get the, like this one would be to get the engine ready in the chassis, get it somewhere ready, get it so that it's got somewhere to go at step 2. So let's get some parts cut off and get into this. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we got our chassis cut off of the tree. Our engine tabs are here. The front accessories, the alternator, and the exhaust. To cut parts off of the trees, I see a lot of guys go back and forth about this, and there's some argument about it and what is better, and I guess it's all up to you, however you like to get them off. But at the end of the day, I guess you want to get them off without mangling the part. So I use everything from the X-Acto knife to cut the part off, or to score a line at the part so that it comes off without marring the part. I have a large set of side cuts, a small set here. I will cut a whole, use the big ones and cut a whole section off of the tree with the parts I need on it, just to get at them, so it makes it easier to get at them, and then use a combination of the knife and the small cuts to get them off. Real small pieces, you've got to, like around the tubing and stuff, I will normally cut it first. Cut it first with the knife, at least score it so it does not take a big chunk of the part with it. So we've got our parts out. We're going to start painting. This chassis is going to go into a chassis black. We've got some Pontiac engine blue. We're going to use flat aluminum on the alternator, probably some on the pipe, and some mixed with some steel, some flat steel, to give it different tones from the muffler to the pipe. And we may see if we can open up the small pipe, but if we can open up the tailpipe to give it a little better look, we use a pin vise on a very small bit. See what we can do there. Fun fact, Pontiac engine blue, corporate engine blue, was used on all the engines. Same thing was on a 350, was on a 455 HO. In 1973, when the Super Duty 455 came out, they had another color of blue to differentiate the HO and the regular 455 from the Super Duty 455. And this was because emissions, Pontiac was trying to pass the Super Duty 455 off as a standard 455. And the EPA, the emissions people got a hold of it, got word of it, and told Pontiac no, and they slapped him in the ding-ding, probably fined him. So then they had to paint the engine a little different shade of blue. Fortunately, ours is a 71. I've got regular Pontiac engine blue. It's not going to ding us anything on the realistic points, so we'll get to painting. Alright guys, getting ready to do our paint work for the 71 trash can. I did a little homework like any good restorer should do, And in doing some homework, I found that the chassis, floor pan and such on the 7073F bodies are red oxide instead of black. So we had a little red oxide, a little Tamiolio red fine surface primer, and shot the chassis. I taped up the engine and the fuel tank so that I could paint. It'd be easier painting over white than the red oxide. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say. So you've got those taped up. Got to spray a little bit more in that one wheelhouse, that rear wheelhouse, and I did the bottom of the interior tub up to the front. That shows through right here by the transmission tunnel. So we had to put a little there, but I did miss back here on the back where those show through those rear wheelhouses, and I outlined them in pencil so I'll know where to hit with paint or primer. Tomorrow I'll take it back down and get a little bit more shot back there in the wheelhouse, and then did this back here. Front suspension and basic black we did today. The rear differential is actually a bunch of different colors. The center section's blacked out. The axle tubes are raw. They don't have paint on them. The sway bar is black. The springs are just a steel, raw steel. The drive shaft is raw, and then has where they spin it and balance it, they would have like red, white, and green different stripes for showing that it's been balanced, or a combination of them. It did get a little paint on the center section of that engine. I've got the heads and valve covers and that mocked up on it, but so we started painting on that. Oh, the radiator caught a little black there today. Just did the alternator, then mocked up the front accessories there, and that'll be a couple different tones of black. The black rubber, black rubber for the belt, and then the power steering pump, the fan, and the clutch is going to be like a goldish, more silver. That's like a goldish, hue to it. Our exhaust, I have to paint it yet, but I did do a little work with, if you can see, the pin vise, and just started to open those tailpipes up a little bit. Makes it look good when they're opened up and hollow, rather than flat and then just painted black in there. So that's what we got done today. First few steps. When we come back, we'll have our engine should be ready to mount in the chassis, and we'll get some black on the subframe up front, get that ready to put together, because then after that, in the exhaust, we'll do the suspension will have to go on in the next step. So thanks for watching, guys, and stopping in, and check back later. I don't know how often videos will come from this, but whenever we get to another section or get some stuff done, we'll film it and we'll show you. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time.